Goldylocks Productions broadcasts universal cosmic frequencies that unlock, awaken, and expand the consciousness of our worldwide viewers and listeners. You are tuning into the Goldylocks Productions presentation of the Spiritual Insight Show with Reverend Tiffany White Sage Woman.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Spiritual Insight Show. I'm Reverend Tiffany White Sage Woman. I'm very grateful, honored, and happy to be sitting in this safe, sacred circle with each and every one of you this evening. This sacred circle, this sacred orb, this sacred sphere, however you want to look at this sacred space, know that this is a very powerful hour together, and I'm grateful for each and every one of you. And so hello, Richard, big bear hugs to you as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Yay. Hello, Ruth. Yay. Thank you so much for participating. Yay. All right, we'll just give everyone a few moments to come in and join us, the sacred circle. As everyone just take a deep breath in and out, just exhale, and just any tensions or energies of the day, we're just going to let it all just melt and wash off of us. Okay? And so hello, Wendy. And I know last week I had wanted originally to do a Mother's Day show, but then I did not. So I apologize for that. So I did have last week off, but I'm back now. Yay. So we are good to go. And so I hope that everyone had a beautiful Mother's Day, Divine Feminine Day. And that's for all of us. Everyone can enjoy that. So, all right. And we're going to talk a little bit more about it's just going to be the norm with the energies being the way that they are. And so this past week has been, and I'm not going to say it really's been fine. I'm sure many of us can feel these energies. We feel really maybe energized and excited, and I've been feeling that way too. And I'm at such peace. Let me say that too. I've just been at such peace, even though things around you now, and I know we've talked about this, you can see it away from you, how things seem to be going. But when things move in a little closer, and those that are starting to be affected by things, still stay in that peace, stay in that beautiful space. And we had, one of my son's girlfriend's mother crossed over last week, or during the week, and she went into the hospital. She had triple pneumonia. And so all right, so we wish her well. We wanted her to get to feel better, and was praying for her. And so she did, though, cross over in the midweek. And we can understand everything that's happening. We've been told, or it's been shared, and I've even said it too, that last year was a lot of people leaving, I would say mass exits. And now we're going to see more and more. And it's okay. It's okay. We're all going to be reunited again. And then even this morning, a next door neighbor who was like, adopted parents, the male had been sick, and that they're both in their 80s, and he was admitted to hospice last week. Well, this morning he did cross over. And so it's like, okay, I'm going to be happy for them because they're at peace. They're no longer suffering. And you know what? Mission done. Mission accomplished. Thank you. And And we have to remind ourselves that this is what's going to happen. And, so there you go. Taking off. Oh my goodness, Linnell, you in an airplane? All right, so Richard, I found myself some vegan cheese at Sprout. Oh, very good. Very good. Very good. Yeah. And hello, Veronica B. Yay. And Linnell. All right. Linnell, Miss World Traveler again. Okay. And so we just have to remind ourselves that this is going to happen in this ascension process in a very short time. We're going to be all reunited anyway. What we're not going to be reunited with is evil. All right. No. And that has its own, that's going to be dealt with and taken care of. That's on its own agenda. All right. Not agenda, but that's being dealt with. Let me say that. And so just keep that in mind as more and more people, and even loved ones and people that are close to us, and it's okay. So exactly, evil is not going to be allowed in for the 5D and above, for the fifth dimension and above. And it's already been worked on, and I'm going to share something with you in a few minutes. I just wanted to give everyone a chance to get into the sacred circle and get comfortable. And I'm going to share some little updates with you guys. And it's beautiful, the times that we're in. And I just want you to stay focused on that. It doesn't mean that you're ignoring. We totally get it. We know, all right? And many of us have been reincarnated so many times. Please don't lecture to us about evil. We've been here so long. Just be quiet. We get it, all right? And we're done. And yay, the ascension has started. Nothing's going to stop this ascension process, all right? So we're just going to keep moving forward and higher and just so much better and so much higher than fifth and seventh dimensional. So Earth is 3-dimensional. Tara, T-A-R-A, is 5th dimensional. Lady Gaia is 7th dimensional. So that's the highest aspect, And Tara, for those who remember being Atlanteans, Lemurian, and we were on 5th dimensional Tara. That's what we were on. 5th dimensional Tara. So many of us, as we are ascending, get into this 5th dimensional energy. We're finding each other again, right? We're connecting with those 5th dimensional Tarians and above. And so, but Lady Tara is still ascending, making that leap to the 7th dimension. Now, last year sometime, and I didn't quite understand, but I had heard that only those who are qualified in 7th dimension and higher will continue with the ascension process to the 7th dimension on Gaia, Lady Gaia. And that's not when I say this is not a judgment. Everyone has a job to do. There's many of us who are here, and then you leave when your mission is completed. There's many who are saying, okay, I'm going to get to the 5D, and then I'm just going to go ahead and shoot on over and help in other ways. Okay. And so then the ones that, okay, we want to take this, we want to see this through all the way to, the 7th dimension. And these are the ones, because we were halted or interrupted during this ascension process from the 5th dimension to the 7th dimension in Atlantean times. We were ready to make that leap, but then there was a descension that happened. There was a war, a fall, and we know that history, and we know all of that. Okay. So no matter what you want to call it, how it's expressed, kicked out of the Garden of Eden, there was a fall. Yes, we all get it. We know it. We've been living it. We get it. So, and it might not be everyone's mission to take Tara fifth dimensionally to the seventh dimensional Gaia. You can have other missions elsewhere, and that's perfectly fine. Everyone is important. Everyone is important. So just keep that in mind. So what I'm going to share with you, okay, is I'm going to share with you this newsletter. I'm going to copy this for later. You have to go and sign up for her newsletters. No, I'm trying to think. Do you? Yeah, you have to go and sign up for her newsletters. I do believe it's free just to sign up for newsletters. And I like to go to this site. There's just only warning I want to give you is that there's a lot of information and it can make your head explode. So literally, no. Take it slow, take deep breaths, and just let things assimilate or just digest as you need to be at your own pace. All right. And so I'm going to read just a snippet. I got the newsletter. I love it because it connects the dots with what I get. I get things in fragments, and she helps put things in order. Her name's Lisa Renee. She gets there's just validation for me, not just from her, but from others. But I am finding, and be very careful because we're going to find this too, the light being shined upon false prophets, false spiritual teachers. All right. And it just makes sense, right? Those that wanted to be in control would control everything, including when, oh man, this spirituality is taking off. We got to be a part of it so we can manipulate it. All right. And so you're just going to see some of that. You may already have. I know I have some teachers that I was following. I'm just not anymore. And that's not a judgment. It's observation. This is just, you've got to go where you're directed. No, if you stay too long in an observation, I found we observe and we make a movement. If we stay too long in that observation and then we talk about it, we verbalize it, or we toss it in our head too much, it becomes a judgment. So we don't want to get to that judgment. We just want to, observe. I get it. I'm going to need to move on, and I'm going to do that. Okay, let's move on. All right? And that's fine. And you don't need to explain. I think when we explain ourselves, it loses the beauty, doesn't it? You'll get it. Yeah, Wendy. Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to read some of this. I'm going to stop. I'm going to read it in sections, and so we can talk about it. So as I read this, we can discuss it, okay? And if there's any questions, all right. Yeah, Veronica, I've so noticed this and I'm very aware, right? Exactly. So we have to be very, very aware. And what I'm finding too, just this gentleness of stop overworking chakras. When we do, and I've shared with you guys the 12D shield, and that's where our higher self is in the 12th dimension, and our solar or guardian angel. So you know what? If we used to activating that into being in our higher self's presence in that 12th dimension, everything below that becomes so much easier to deal with, and we have already created that beautiful access where others may have a hard time with. But the thing is that we have to be responsible for ourselves, right? And that when we do that, when we stay connected to our higher self, guess what? We are helping others because we're helping to raise the vibration, and the vibration is being risen very, very quickly. So I'm just going to share in the comments for those maybe who are new. As soon as I can copy and paste this here. For those who haven't seen it, you can check it later. Please later, not now. The 12D shield building technique, if you haven't seen it already. But if you need it right now, click on it. That's fine. You can multitask. That's okay too. The thing is that when you do it enough, all you need to do is see a symbol now, is visualize the Merkaba, and you're there. Activate, right? Very, very powerful. All right. So Let's get into this, what I shared with you. We're going to start going through some of this newsletter. Oh, one of the things too I wanted to share with you is something I was getting, and I was trying to piece together. I think I may have verbalized it. All right. I was very careful with things that I get to just write down, because if I don't understand, and then I don't want to scare people. And one of the things I've always remembered is that on my angelic and celestial committee, because it's not just the seraphim angels, and there's a group of they're in everything. Creation is like in groups of 12s, circles of 12s, orbs of 12s, right? Spheres of 12s, round table of 12. You get my point, right? So it's but this particular group of seraphim angels that have been with me since I was young and help educate me with everything. They finally were like, well, we're the Seraphina group. Seraphina, they put a name to it. And I'm like, okay. They're like, it's not just them. They're light beings as well. And I'm like, oh, okay. So they've always guided me. And I'm not any special to any one of you. I had a very hard childhood, and I disconnected from reality and relied on my angels and had to go higher than the guides. I wasn't allowed to talk to spirit, which is fourth dimensional. Maybe some fifth dimension. Actually, no, there couldn't have been, because there is an energetic gate that's being taken down. But evil had created a trap for us to stay in the 3D and 4D, which is heaven, which is actually where they put an energy gate, where we couldn't ascend, and we kept having to reincarnate, that trap. But, each of us has God inside, has that source, that powerful source inside. All right. So we could find these little openings when we need to. All right. Don't let that scare you. I think I'm getting way sidetracked now from what I was originally going to say, but anyway. So I always hung out in upper vibrations because I wasn't allowed, and I didn't realize it then. Thank you for not being allowed to play with dead people. My mom called it. Then it just forced me to go higher and higher and higher and connect with my team. They're really my higher self. And that's, so there you go. And so you can do that too. And I'm telling you that everything becomes so much clearer. Now, was I always clear? No. When you hit the stupid years, no. Not stupid, it's just hormonal, confusing. When you hit those years, we go through everything too. How many of us have put our abilities on pause because you never get rid of it? You put it on pause. And sometimes they take that pause button off, whether you're ready or not. Okay, here it is. So anyway, so one of the things they had talked about too, I really didn't know, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, is I didn't know anything about archangels. I didn't know what archangels were. I had conversations with them about angels because they're going to church, and they're like, angels, because I saw these angels or these beings as just columns of beautiful light, tall light. They didn't have wings. And then when I was like, oh, the wing concept is pretty cool, they'll show up in any way that is comfortable to you, in any way that you were raised. They want to bring comfort and joy and peace to you, not scare the crap out of you. So they're going to come to you in some very beautiful imagery of what you believe they are. Okay? And there you go, what you believe they are. And so, I started in getting into all of this as far as exploring it on a mediumship point and learning about all sorts of things. And I'm like, so what's these archangels? And my committee said, don't worry with those. Don't. And I was like, how come they have to have a name? Who did that? Who named them? Did man name them? or are they channeling the names? I was like, isn't that egotistical? It's a label. Why? These are the questions I asked my committee. Trust me. Anyway, and so I was like, how come you guys don't have a name? And when I ask for a name, you're like, that's not important. It's a label. We're a sound, and a sound, a vibration, a frequency that you recognize. That's all the identification you need. That frequency of love is the most powerful, and when you're in that frequency of love, nothing else matters. And so, and they're like, okay, so here's the thing now, more and more, being more and more clear, right, is that some of the evil, I'm trying to not use the word evil so much, but you have to understand that there are these beings, not just human beings, but there's non-human beings that have kept us prisoner for so long on this earth, and they are being taken down and dismantled. Okay, they have held us back on purpose. Well, they also overlay their negative reversal energies on top of ascended masters, on top of angels, but they're really fallen angels. And something they wanted me to also let everyone know is we are angelic humans. Yes, we have those abilities because we consider angels as being a much higher vibration, a much higher dimension. Well, so are we. Really, our divine blueprint. So we are angelic humans. All right. We are not the fallen ones. The fallen ones are the ones that's trying to control and manipulate and overlay false identities and false beliefs. This is why it is very important to know who you're channeling. And I'm actually real leery when I do get a name. I was like, no, wait. I don't get names. I just recognize that vibration. And who are you? All right. Well, committee, is this valid? And no, you have to always go through my committee. And so always make it go through that filter. Anything, and I have it now so that if anything comes to me, it's got to be pure. It's got to be authentic. It's got to be approved by my angelic celestial committee, your team, whatever you want to call your team. All right. Even your higher self, so you can just say your higher self. People have beautiful, and this is just an identifier. I know it's a label. There's good labels, bad labels, but it's just, okay, my team, however you want to call them is fine too. Veronica, I ask these questions too, right? Well, you have to. We're so inquisitive, right? And there's so much we want to know. And so just know that it's very important to always know what information you're getting, where it's coming from. And they, like I said, it's just pure love. They want to be helpful. They're not going to tell you to do something that's going to harm anyone, including yourself. So just keep that in mind. Okay? So hello, Super Space Cookie, Sarah. You came in at a good time. I'm getting ready to share some things. Right? Yep. I have my security team that relay messages. Exactly. That's it. And so when I'm doing healing work for people and even giving messages, and they're like, I want to hear from so-and-so. And I was like, well, it's up to my team. And if that person comes forward and the team presents that person's message, then it will be shared. I don't conjure anyone. I don't call upon anyone. And I certainly do not do that celebrity stuff. I just, let's call upon the celebrity that's passed on. I don't agree with that. Leave them alone. If they have something to say, they'll say something to you. It's like anyone else. When we cross over, we only want to come to our family, our inner circle of people. We don't want to go all over, right? Well, why would the celebrities want to do that? A lot of them just want to be left alone. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay? So what I'm going to do is just start reading some of this. If there's anything that you have questions on, just put it into the comments and we will address it as I take a break with each. But this is a really great newsletter update about, what's going on. Okay. So, Veronica, this has been so confirming. Thank you so much, Tiffany. Oh, thank you, Veronica. And that's what we need, is that validation. We need that confirmation, don't we? We most certainly do. And so, Richard, thank you so much, dear. Thank you, Richard. Such a sweetie. All right. Robin, I'm leaving Busch Gardens. I might lose you. Oh, Busch Gardens. Woo! Woo, you need to get all that energy off you, girl. All right. So here we go. And if any terms or anything I say, or you just have any questions or you want to share, please do that and we'll get back to it. Oh, and I know I said angels. One of my questions I asked my team, my committee, was Archangel Michael. He's a favorite. Why is Archangel Michael so popular? And they said because the Michael that people that we remember is not an angel. It's not Archangel Michael. It's the solar Christed Michael. And I was like, what? What? Okay, so there has been 3 Christed couples on this earth plane. Jesus, or Yeshua, and Mary. Okay, Mary Magdalene, Mary. Michael and his female counterpart, which was Mary Sophia. And this is real, King Arthur and Guinevere. So isn't it interesting how the history always tries to slam the women as prostitutes or that has an affair with, Guinevere and King Arthur was a very powerful team. All right. So, but these are keepers of the light. These are people who were Christed. And just like the Buddhas. So here we go. I hope that helps you understand that anything that they can take that was beautiful and misuse it to redirect our energy to keep looking outward and not go inward where that truth is. Okay? So here we go. So the Ascension mysteries continue to reveal with ever unfolding adventures of extreme positive events that are happening in our Albion light body, giving each of us the possibility to birth the cosmic Christ consciousness within us in this lifetime. It's happening. All right. So this is the divine purpose of why we chose to come in during this ascension cycle, to be wide awake, to experience what is unfolding now. So while most of us are unaware of the significant spiritual events happening to help free the planet, rest assured that beautiful events are awaiting us in humanity's future. Don't you see it? Don't you feel it? Feels good. All right. So now there's many different orders, and we're going to kind of go through just briefly. I'm not going to go too long. And I'm only sharing a little bit of this newsletter, not the whole thing. It's a really long newsletter. All right, it'd probably take me an hour and a half to read the whole thing, so I'm skimming some of the important parts. All right. So know that there's many different beings, and this would make sense why there's so many different orders of light on this earth plane, because there was many different tribes to seed fifth dimensional Tara. All right. So the return of the Emerald Order through the rise of Arthur and Albion brings the next stage activation during this electrical, keyword, peak cycle for reviving the emerald crystal heart in the earth. So when 5D Tara fell to third dimensional earth, okay, everything went dormant or went to sleep. So now they're going to revive the emerald crystal heart. Hi, Carolyn. Thank you. Carolyn, thank you. Okay. And so this includes the solar anointing of the authentic Christ Michael to restore his rightful kingship in the solar dragon line. So he's with the solar dragons, those gold dragons. So this holds profound meaning as the return of the solar rishi usher in the benevolent and rightful Christos solar kings to planet Earth, in which the rishi awakens them from stasis, from asleep, so that they may begin to embody and matter to activate the solar dragon lines. So you can help. Let's visualize gold dragons, right? Let's visualize the golden dragons. I'm sorry, I'm being distracted by the comments. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Carolyn. All right, I love that when we have other Goldylocks Productions professionals joining in, Carol Ann and Ruth. And so thank you. Love you. Love y'all. All right. And so, I have a gold dragon figurine. If you have any other dragons, you could spray paint them gold. All right. And if you have a green crystal, an emerald, or any, I would stick it with that dragon. I'm going to go on. Here we go. So the Christos solar dragon kings are also referred to as the Albion kings, or maybe the Magi Grail kings that ruled the constellations, the right constellations, and the star maps that make up this planetary grid system, which in its divine design is the Albion light body, which has been intentionally designed to protect the 12 Essene tribes and stargates on this earth. Well, the Christos solar dragon kings were placed in that sleep in the planetary body during the commencement of this whole Luciferian rebellion dark time, right? So through the solar rishi return, the Earth has reached the stage during the ascension cycle when the Christos solar dragons are being awakened through the transmission of the rainbow dragon breath carried into their emerald crystal heart. So visualize gold dragons with the emerald crystal heart, and when they are breathing, their breath is a rainbow breath. Just sit with that visualization for a minute. Isn't that powerful? Ooh. Yeah, Veronica, I'm trying to keep it, it's really kind of over the head. I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible. So if there was more, let me say this, we all are star seeds. So we have a lot of celestial beings, but just know that there's more than one Christed individual that walked this earth plane. So that's why I'm trying to keep it as simple. I'm skimming here. I'm not going through the whole thing. Trying to keep it simple as far as now. So here's the energy I want you to focus on. The gold dragons with the emerald crystal heart and the rainbow dragon breath. Okay. They are being called into planetary service by our holy godparent, the cosmic founders of the Emerald Order. We have waited for a very long time for the planet to raise her frequency to this level that activated the hidden emerald crystal heart, all right, in this divine design of Earth. And so it's only been made possible because guess what? Mass amounts of us raised our vibration of spiritual love. So we did it. And it has helped the collective hearts of humanity. This ascension wouldn't have taken place if we didn't raise our vibration. So bravo, give yourself a pat on the back. Yay, and let's just keep going. Okay? So every human being on this planet was incarnated with this gem, this emerald hidden within them, and which has been placed by Source from us as a beacon, really, as a beacon. Okay? So, I'm trying to keep it simple here. So the cosmic founders, who is working with Source, with the divine creator, promised to us, okay, that all souls in this fallen universe would be found and return back to their original spiritual home. That was the original divine plan of spiritual ascension, the evolutionary journey through the astrological ages and timelines that would facilitate our way back home to remember our divine purpose and be united with God. Okay? So there you go. I'm going to skim over some more of this and just try to keep it. But yes, so the Michael we all may be familiar with, it is not Archangel Michael, but the Solar Dragon Christ Michael. Okay. Yes. So he's very high dimensional. So through the solar anointing carried out, Grail cup. You have to understand that Grail is not a physical cup. It is the sacred womb. And when you look at it, it's the upside down pyramid. Doesn't it look like a cup, like a cone? A cup. All right. So the solar dragon Christ Michael was placed on a golden throne and given the title of the 13th Magi Grail King of Kings to begin his mission of restoring the Holy Grail cup in the second dimension, fifth dimension, eighth dimension, 11th dimensional layers, and just to initiate the awakening process altogether from the authentic Magi, Grail Kings. So Magi, when you think of the three Magi, the three kings, when you think about the nativity for Christmas, the three kings. So that came, they noticed that, okay, so Jesus Yeshua was one. Well, there's a whole line of these Magi Grail Kings, okay? So don't get this, I'm trying to make this easier for you. All right. Wow. And so it's to realign the true union of love and compassion of that Christos Sophia consciousness. All right? Love and compassion. There you go. Keep that balance of the masculine, the feminine. And just keep your eyes, hearts, your eyes on your heart, when your cosmic heart is activated, that heart you have that heart-to-heart connection with the divine. It's so powerful, and it just opens up that third eye, and that's what's really powerful. So what opens up your third eye is that spark from your cosmic heart to your third eye. Bam, 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 bam. Isn't that beautiful? And it just makes your whole brain become one unit, and it's so amazing. So amazing. All right. Also, too, I want to just read this one part about the Earth, the changes. Okay. I'm getting the gist, and you're doing great. Please don't take it as. No, I don't take it as criticism at all. My goal is I want to make sure in all of this presentation, and I've even told my committee, is I want to be understood by all people. It's important. I'm not here to impress anybody with fancy words or whatever. No, let's keep it simple, and it should be simple. And so I don't take it as criticism. I'm using it as a gauge to, okay, that's all, sweetie. And I appreciate that. I love that feedback, Veronica. Thank you so much. And another little note here. When I say sweetie, I mean that with the best intentions. I think so. I'm from the South, so I say sweetie, dear, whatever. These are terms of endearment, not meant to upset anyone. I just have to say that because some people do get upset by that. Anyway, all right. let's go on, move on, move on. So I'm going to read this little part because we are in the midst of a magnetic shift, a pole shift. All right, now, well, the only thing we have is that when the first pole shift happened was the fall of Atlantis, and it was destructive. All right, so know that this pole shift is not going to be destructive at all. All right, so what this means is that the return of this emerald order, see, there's the emerald order, there's the amethyst order. Again, it's each team has their missions, right? And they have to complete. It's you go in, you're going to do this part, you're going to do this part, you're going to do this part. Very powerful team. All right. So the return of the Emerald Order restores the Emerald Ray, which carries the energetic catalyst that is similar to a lightning strike that delivers a blast of massive plasma current directly into the inner chambers of the Emerald Crystal Heart Center in the planetary body. So this event causes an electromagnetic reset in the planetary grid work, which will flip the magnetic positions. So the magnetic pole, all right, flip will not result in a destructive pole shift. It is a correction in the anti-life reversals of the evil that have been trying to control us, that have been used, all right, she calls it alien machinery. I don't like to really use that term, but it's evil manipulation, all right, and the false Metatronic spiral that invert the direction of the planetary current moving through the ley lines. So it'll be made very clear that our planet will not suffer surface cataclysm with the pole shift. However, there will be a magnetic reset that greatly weakens the gravitational pull, and we are living through that magnetic shift right now. We are also noticing spikes in the in the frequencies every day, right? You know, when we are monitoring the Schumann resonance for today is 33, but we have noticed them to be very, very high lately. All right, so all this is coming together. All right, and if you were to look at Earth, Tara, Gaia, if you were to look at Mother Earth from space, all right, it's important to note that the equator, so we know this, right? There's an equator band, and this was really beautiful. I never thought about that before. I did question, why is there a northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere, and why is it divided like that? So this is answering that question, which makes so much perfect sense. So if you look at Mother Earth from space, overview is to know that the equator band is problematic, or at least was problematic due to the flow of these telluric currents moving with the sun, being harvested in this evil manipulation that generates an extreme bulge of unnatural formations and toxic energy waste encircling the globe. So think of it then as a rubber band around the Earth, this orb, this rubber band. Bam! So all this toxic energy waste has to go somewhere. So think of that toxic waste as a band that is squeezing the circulation of the Earth and created these separate hemispheres. Does that make sense? So it creates the northern hemisphere, the southern hemisphere are like, they're not communicating with each other anymore, and they created separate, they cut the circulation off from each other, that they become their own separate northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere. All right, and they have functioned as distinct polar opposites. So now, with this emerald heart of the Earth, is being revived in her organic heart song. This is a moment when that band's going to snap. This is part of the polar shift. This is that moment when the north and south poles will merge together instantaneously, unifying the divine ley line grids into 0 point, and then switching the magnetic positions. Woohoo! That is powerful. I'm feeling it all over my head. So what your job is not to understand this. I want you to stay in love and to stay into peace. Visualize these, what you can help in raising the vibration. Visualize these golden dragons with the heart shaped, with emerald crystal heart, with rainbow breath coming up. Can you do that? If you can visualize that, breathe that in and exhale it, that's powerful. All right? That's taking us back to our divine blueprint. Not just us, all right, but we're helping Earth, Tara, Gaia, the universe, and just so on in expansion. It goes on, the cosmos. It's being felt all over, multi-dimensional. It's not just affecting us poor little humans. No, it's affecting such a grand scale. We're all connected. We're all one. So anything that happens anywhere, we're all going to feel it. Right? Okay. So, woo! But then in the newsletter, she goes on to talk about Atlantean mystery schools and a little bit more about King Arthur and Camelot. And if y'all are down with that, you can read that newsletter. I did put the link to go to the website and to sign up for newsletters. And yeah, so anyway, I don't know if you will get the May one if you sign up right now. But if anyone wants me to forward this newsletter to them, then just let me know and I'll be happy to forward it. But again, it's very long, but it's very, very good. And just to back up a little bit too, where did these evil aliens, evil agendas came from the Orion Belt? Know that our constellations is not pure. It's not. There's supposed to be 12 planets. So that throws everything off. And look at how they try to control through astrology, through the moon is inorganic. I did a whole 1.5-hour discussion about things that I channeled about the moon. That's on my website, whitesagewoman.com. Saying sage, S-A-G-E, whitesagewoman.com. If you want to check that class out, it's 1.5 hours. But I do have it protected. If you can't handle the information, I don't want you to take it. And so it's pretty powerful, everything that we're going through. But what I don't want you to give your power, I don't want you to give your power or your energy to things that are not organic, that are not divine, that are false. And so that's my concern. That's all it is help you to step back into your power, step into your power more. All right. And I did list that website at the beginning, but I'm going to post it again just in case if someone had missed it. Lisa Renee, I do believe, is her name, Energetic Synthesis. Again, when you read it, you're going to take breaks because it is. I remember, I totally remember, Veronica, when I started months ago reading her newsletters, I couldn't read it all in one day. I had to digest it a little at a time. And so the information is intense. And then I ask, okay, for my committee can we decipher this? And then I see that it's connecting the dots. It is validating what I have been asking for. And so if you want to check it out, sign up for the newsletter. If not, I will keep you updated. If you want me to keep it simple for you, that's what I'm here for. That's what I love to do, is to let's make it simple. Because sometimes we don't need to know all the details about everything. Because during this ascension process, everything's being revealed to us, right? So all this information is going to come back and we're going to know it all anyway. I mean, it's all going to come in is what I'm saying. And so we'll be exposed to that. So don't get stuck on details. Don't get stuck. Just what I want you to focus on is that this ascension is happening. Nothing's going to stop it. And we can just keep moving forward. All right. And to stay in that peace and that love, and that we've made such great progress. So as we've been making this progress, everything, all these magi or these high divine beings that were on this plane that were put to sleep are awakening. They're awakening, and they're here to assist with the rest of this ascension. We had to get to the level. We had to get to that frequency, that sound, that song, that lullaby that wakes them up, and they can help all of us together. All right. And so it's not us doing nothing, waiting for people to save us. That's not how that works. We have to all work together. Right? And I know everyone that's sitting in the sacred circle are powerful light workers. We're not waiting for anybody. We're doing our work and we're helping each other. Right? Melissa Parks, woohoo, 0 point. I know, right? 0 point. Yeah. Veronica, I found it interesting that I'm in the Southern Hemisphere and have made friends, energy connection people in the Northern Hemisphere. But you know what? Isn't that division an illusion, Veronica? And as soon as that band pops, we're all one anyway. And so that is beautiful. I love that. That's right, Veronica. You know, I have forgotten about that. Okay. Stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. Drink your water. Whoo. Wendy, when I learned something that I thought was new, I found that I've known this stuff for years. It's like a moment. That's it, Wendy. That's it. And that's why I like to and reword it, because sometimes we come across these things. We ask for validation. It does come across to us. And it can come across to us in many different ways, but it's not new. It's things that are really within us, but it's the way that it is presented. Every channel right now that is channeling, we're giving the same messages, but wording it differently because we're trying to reach everyone on all levels. Does that make sense? Because we are tapping into the divine consciousness, not humanity's consciousness, because humanity's consciousness is manipulated. And this is where we're going to see the false spiritual teachers who are involved with that, because they can't get any higher. And you're going to go, yeah, okay. You're going to see them for who they are. And this is just anyone. I'm not just picking on spiritual teachers, but, false prophets, people who just try to trick you. Of course, it should make us very upset. But they have to pay that price, and they will. So for that deceiving and manipulation, and then there are some who are fooled. There are some spiritual teachers who really have great, they mean well, but they have been fooled. But they're going to waken up, be gentle, and be gentle with themselves. Don't, be upset about that. That's a powerful experience. And then they're going to step forward in their power, even more powerful and more determined. So it's okay, right? Okay. And, but yeah, absolutely. So the only thing that's coming in new is the presentation, because these are exciting times, and just keep on. The thing that's coming new is the presentation, the vibrations, the frequencies, the sounds. So yes. Make sure, and this is important, music, listen to uplifting music, listen to, because music initiates that joy in the heart. Joy, joy, joy. And that makes us, if you want to get up and dance, dance. And that moves the chi, that moves the energy in your body, doesn't it? And that feels good. And that connects us. You can feel that divine connection when we are working things out. When we're working any kind of energy blockages, we're just working all out. And because a lot of these blockages aren't us. It's not our stuff. It's stuff that we have allowed to settle on ourselves. And so, or maybe, okay, sure. There's, we all are familiar with energy vampires, but there are also those that will just dump their stuff on you and run and leave. And no more, this isn't a dumping ground. I'm not a dumping ground. I respect myself. This temple is sacred. This energy, this sacred space is sacred. And that's why I want you to add the word sacred. This space is sacred space. You don't violate this, right? This body, the energy field around me, and then push that energy field out. Encompass your whole home, and then push it out a little bit more for neighborhoods, for your neighborhood. And all you're doing is sending love and light out. You're not harming anyone and sending love and light out. So if someone's harmed by that, that's how they are receiving it. That's their something they have to work through. I don't say it's their problem, but it's their problem. Something they have to work on. Why does the light scare them? Okay. Yeah. So there it is. You can heal. This is part of setting up our community. We don't have to go anywhere to create a new community of light workers, because then you're just all in one place. How about we are that one candle with the flame going really, really tall, and then we are spreading that love and light out in all directions, and other candles that want, I want some of that flame, thank you, and then they're flaming over here, I want some of that flame, they're flaming over here, I want some of that flame, light, whatever, and they're so it is like a chain reaction, right, of good, of light, and we just keep doing that. Keep doing that. Melissa, I just did that down Main Street. Except, right, and we can do that when we go places. Where do I need to be today? And there was one place that I kept being directed to go cleanse, to go cleanse, to go cleanse. This one shopping center years ago. And I would go into this thrift store and just stand there. Plant your pillar of light. Seriously. There's a little warning when you plant pillars of light. Don't put it in traffic. Please don't do it in roads. Don't do it in high traffic areas. Find a corner of a building and plant a pillar of light there. Visually just, do that. You can plant pillars of light at the corners of your yard. Don't do it in a roadway because they're so powerful energetically that it can actually be felt by some people. All right. So, and then create this block. And you don't want to do that. So plant your light pillars around town in places, no traffic areas. All right. Do that. Plant it beside the tree. There you go. The tree loves that energy. Hey, I'm right here with you. Here's some help. I'm going to plant that right beside you. Yay! Visualize it. It's powerful. It's real. We're more powerful than we realize, right? And so I would do this in this one thrift store and just kept pumping this space, this energy there. And about a year later, the owner of that space, I don't know if they sold it or if they just finally revitalized it, but that whole shopping center got a facelift and it looks and feels fantastic now. And so, because I'm not guided to go there anymore. And once you set it, I don't want to say you set it and forget it. You don't, because this is what happens now. When you sit in your sacred space and you're sending love and light out in all directions, every one of those pillars that you planted, all right, gets lit up. That's right, Melissa, light it up. they get lit up too, because you're that energy source and you light those spots. And so have you ever been somewhere and you just got smacked by love? That's what that feels like. That's what we're doing. That's what we're helping. And exactly, help the lost souls to find home as well. Right? Yay! All right. So let's see, Veronica. I just had the strongest physical tingling I've ever had. Thank you. And my team says thank you as well. Thank you, Veronica. Thank you so much. And so we all are so powerful. Don't let anyone ever try to tell you otherwise and extinguish your light. Just keep shining brightly in all directions. I love each and every one of you, and we will sit in Sacred Circle next Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and many blessings to each of you. Good night, everyone.
Become a Goldylocks Productions VIP patron. Receive exclusive access to live stream special and other epic perks. Join the Goldylocks Productions VIP community today.